Right, hi guys, welcome back to the British Bodybuilding Podcast. We are your hosts this evening, Tom Hames, that's me, and Big Cal Mabbott. We haven't got a show review as such today because there wasn't a super big show to cover. Well, I suppose there's there's a few shows, but we're going to cover pretty much just a few athletes from the UK that have done exceedingly well this weekend, just people we kind of know or have seen or whatever, and just have a talk about how well they've done, how they placed, what they did, whether they turned pro, won stuff, whatever, right, all of that stuff. And we're just gonna give people a bit of a shout out. We've also got some questions to do today, I believe. Yeah,
Yeah,
we've got a few. We've got pretty
good
well
mix of coaching questions, personal ones for us, PD questions. We love those ones.
personal questions.
Yeah,
Oh dear.
and some general ones in regards to kind of like coaching and the way we prep people, which I think will be good to dive into.
Absolutely, that'd be really cool. And I think because we are both well, I'm aiming to be a competitive bodybuilder again. Whether or not I will be satisfied enough with my own physique to put it on stage is a different conversation altogether. But I'm aiming to do it. I think we can talk about our own bodybuilding very briefly at some point if we wanted to.
Agreed. I think
If
that'll be
people
good to cover.
people be interested to hear stuff. So first one we're going through is.
Let's start with Sarah. This one's got to
Of
be
course,
covered
let's
first.
start with the good stuff. Let's start with the best of the best. Now, did you watch the live stream or did you see any of the live stream?
I did indeed.
Oh, did you stay up to watch it?
Yep.
Me too. Oh, sick.
I don't know about you. I know it was pretty obvious via pictures as well, but even taking away the bias because we know who she is, it was standout from the
It
from the
was.
moment.
Well, okay. So here's the big thing where I think the IFBB, the judges, what they need to sort out is they need to sort out the speed in which they put in their answers, because they bloody well did it way too early. Because if you look at the score sheet, it says that Sarah beat her by 1 point. I'm sorry. 1 point? Are we having a joke? Now,
Yeah.
what that means is that they had her on the side, so there was 6 girls, yeah? So Sarah was on the side, and then they had 2 ladies in the middle. So there was the blonde lady who got second, and then there was the lady who got third, the black lady. And they were in the middle to kind of begin with. And I was shouting at my screen, no, don't do this. Don't fuck her over. Don't do this. This is bollocks. Are you taking the piss? And I'm shouting all this. And then they moved her in, and then obviously she ran through a few more poses with them. And I was like, right, that is what is supposed to happen. And I thought to myself immediately, even though she was off to the edge, right? So there's 2 girls in the middle. Immediately, your eyes can't go off her. So I'm
100%
thinking,
agree.
surely it's not that different in person. Surely, I'm like thinking, there's no world where she doesn't win this. And then they moved back. So I think what they've done is they've jotted down answers before they've gone through 4 rounds, and I think that's why things looked a little bit dodgy on that scorecard. Because in reality, that should have been straight win.
100% agree. Yeah.
It's and you know what, Carl? I don't know how you feel about this, right? But there's a lot of people that have been like a lot of nobodies, like just absolute nobodies, that have been saying, sure, this is women's bodybuilding. Surely, when she stands on stage at the Olympia next to Natalia and Sarah Valages or whatever, Sarah V, when she stands next to them, and then the other girls who are incredible as well, then in that first call out when she gets there, they will go, oh, they're all that big.
Yeah.
Because if they've got any coherent thought, they will. Because that is the level that they are at. If you stuck her next to a women's bodybuilder, and I'm not talking about shitty low-level ones, I'm talking Olympian women's bodybuilder, Sarah would look small next to them.
100% agree.
She wouldn't look as dense. She would look potentially as wide. She would have far better shape and structure than them. But then from a density and thickness point, she isn't quite at that level, because these are ladies who have been training since they were probably like 18 and they're now 40, right? And Sarah's like, late 20s. So I mean, mate, what more can we say? It's a flawless physique,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Absolutely. I think even like
How in any conversation was she ever 1 point away?
yeah.
Like what pose did she lose? It's just nonsense. It's like
I can't even see a body part
no,
that I
there's
feel
nothing
like
that's
would.
missing. Now, obviously, I coached Sarah for 9 years, so I know, obviously, I know her body kind of inside out, and I know what she has to do, and the level of tissue that she has put on since we stopped working together after about 9 years. So it has just been phenomenal. She's taken best part of sort of 2.5 years sort of away from the stage, 2.5, nearly 3 years away from the stage, and the level of progression that she has made since then. Bear in
Yeah.
mind, Sarah's competition history as a pro is a second place, a fourth place, and a third place. Okay, and these were deep lineups. Now I'm talking one of the lineups was like 18 women. Okay, right, and she's beaten Olympians like even not at this level. So for her to now be at this level and be doing this and just be this phenomenal physique that she is, I mean, look at that. That's
Yeah,
just
it's incredible.
honestly, 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 Cal, I reckon if you put her like against like blokes in and judged it on a classic fight, a classic bodybuilding criteria, she'd spank them.
Absolutely smoke it, yeah. And you know what as well, even just the posing element, like it's so elegant with
Yeah,
the way that
shout
she
out
hits.
to who's her posing? It's Sammy. Is it
Sammy,
Sammy?
yeah, yeah.
Is it
Every
Sammy who
single
does the
shot.
posing? Absolutely brilliant,
The way she
phenomenal.
showcases that is just next level.
It's the glute into the hamstring. It's the separation
Yeah,
everywhere. It's the flow from one muscle tissue to another. It's the super tight midsection.
yeah,
It's the super tight. Like everywhere is just beautifully. Like the shoulders start at one point and finish all the way around in a perfect circle. There's just not a gram of fat left, is there
not at all.
either?
And you know, there's one athlete I'd like to see her compete against from a conditioning standpoint. I'd like to see her against Paula,
Yeah.
especially through the
So
glutes,
so I want to see.
hamstrings, and
So
quads.
do you know? Here's my prediction right now, very early on for the top four at the Olympia. Is my prediction is Paula, then Sarah, and then Sarah, and then Natalia. In any order,
Yeah,
really.
yeah,
I
yeah,
suppose that's kind of like where you would be. Like, I don't mean it in that order. I mean, I didn't mean it in that order at all. I don't know who's going to get forward, third, whatever. But that's your first call out. That's
yeah.
got to
I
be your
agree.
first call out. It's
I
got
think
to
it's
be.
such a standout look to present as well for like that first win for her as well. It's kind of
Yeah.
just like, yeah,
And as much as we don't like to admit that politics are a part of the sport, that they are a part of the sport,
yeah,
and she does need to show her face at the O. But I think that once she's done this, and she'll body Toronto as well. Once she's done that, then it's a case of like going through to going through to the Olympia. It's like, oh, that's that lady from Britain that won 2 pro shows,
yeah.
right? And then their eyes are like straight. You know what I mean? Like winning one is one thing, but winning two in a year and then going to the O, their eyes are on you the second you walk out on
Yeah.
stage.
And I
So
think I think like the reason we started this podcast, right, and Sarah's such a good example is especially in female bodybuilding divisions, there's so much negativity around
yeah,
competitors bitching and like the actual categories themselves. I feel like she brings such a positive perspective
she
and
does as well, and she has her
to that
total
division.
own mantra towards her
Yeah,
bodybuilding. You know, her femininity that promotes and stuff, and like just the way that she showcases herself as an athlete. And
yeah,
if anyone knows her personally, obviously I know her very well, but like knows her personally, she is a absolutely delightful human being.
yeah.
And yeah, and she's just locked. I did speak to her earlier, but I don't want to bother her too much because she's kind of like show, which is good because she needs to be like that. So yeah, we're gonna catch up when she's back. But yeah,
Incredible.
I'm immensely proud. She's
I can
fantastic.
imagine it was a cool moment for you seeing that, and even just to see the physique on stage at that level was
Oh, it was. I was like, yeah. It was super cool. I mean, I was half asleep, so I was like, oh yeah, she won. Okay, cool. Like, but still, yeah, it was brilliant. Yeah.
right. So we
I
got
was in my head. I was going, "Don't do this. Don't fuck her over. Just don't. I can't watch it if they're going to fuck her over."
move on to Dara.
Now, Dara,
Do
this
you know
dude
how long he's
is
been going, Tom, for the
no,
card?
no.
I want to say 3, 4 years, maybe. I
He's been
think.
pushing
You had that
forever,
wrong.
hasn't he? Yeah, it's good. Fantastic physique, man. Absolutely fantastic physique. I will say this: this isn't meant in derogatory, obviously, as we are a positive podcast. That is what we are putting here. In person, deceivingly, kind of like bit clothes on, baggies on, trackies on, walking around. You're thinking, oh, bodybuilder's in good shape. Yeah, no, decent build. Takes it off, and you're like, oh, okay, right.
Yeah,
Like I'm sort of walking past him, like, oh, I thought he'd be like really like wide and big, and whatever. He's just complete as fuck. He's just
put together
complete as fuck.
so
And
well.
it's not a body part that's really missing.
Yeah,
He's got super nice balance. His conditioning's perfect. His colour looks fantastic there on stage as well. Really good tan. Even in dodgy like NPC lighting, like he absolutely smashed it. Smashed it. Really,
yeah,
really good look.
incredible.
Should be extremely proud of himself. Really, really good.
I didn't get to see any of the comparisons from this. I don't know if you saw any
No, I
posts
didn't say
online.
no. Yeah,
Didn't get to
unfortunately, I
see.
don't think they've quite discovered how to do live streams yet. It might be a bit past. Yeah, it's
Yeah, no,
difficult, man.
insane.
Oh, it's so hard to do a live stream.
But yeah, credit
But
to him and Cooper for that, because even the
yeah, they've
peak
done a good job,
that
man.
look
Done a
like
really
full
good job.
dry. That's a really nice look.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what, man. You know what? Going back, so just going to just nipping back for 2 secs. Going into the Olympia, the amount of British athletes that are going now, and we're towards the top in a lot of places. And and considering that we're this big and America's like this big, the quality that the Britain produces is just phenomenal. We've got Samson, we've got Ryan Terry. Right, that's 2 potential Olympia titles. We've got Rhea, that's another one, right? We've got Shelley, the fitness competitor, right? We've got potentially Sarah. Okay, that could be 5 fucking Olympias
Yeah,
for fucking the UK. That's insane, isn't it? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, cool. Who else have we got? Oh, God, of course, as well.
Yinka. Yeah,
Yeah, of course, there's Niall as well.
wow,
There could be 6, bro. There could be 6 fucking Olympia titles.
insane. I think one thing we take pride of in the UK is everything we do, like from the training to the PDs to the nutrition. There's so much around everything. Whereas I feel like America's big in certain places, but as UK goes, it's everywhere, right? It's the training, it's the nutrition, even the mindset side of things. I think
Yeah,
it's just
absolutely. Oh
levels.
my God, dude, I can't believe I just forgot Niall. He's like Niall could win, Samson could win, Ryan Terry could win, Rhea probably will win,
Yeah,
Shelley probably will win, Sarah very close to winning. Like, how many? That's insane. And there's Phoebe Rivala's course. She's absolutely phenomenal.
across those divisions as
Sassam
well.
too. Is
Yeah,
it Yinka? Isn't it? Is that his name?
yeah, Yinka. Yeah,
Yeah, he's brilliant as well. Sass is brilliant. Who's the other chap as well? What's his name? I don't know his name. I'm not familiar with most
I'm
of
not.
the
No,
guys.
me neither.
I probably should know. Um, but
But as
yeah,
I say,
mate.
for this many divisions as well, like
Bro, it's not even like one, is it? It's
yeah,
classic bodybuilding. It's almost all
fitness.
of them. The only one we haven't
Yeah,
got is wellness. Yeah.
that's it. Yeah,
Uh, and wellness and women's bodybuilding. We haven't got. Yeah.
insane, absolutely insane.
That's nuts, isn't it?
Then an honourable mention. We're going to
Yep,
cover
of course,
Amy's
Amy did.
overall win.
Yeah, really like her physique. Really good
Agreed.
lines, really good symmetry, really good proportions.
I saw
Very
this
graceful, very
comparison
ISBD bikini. Yeah,
that Meg put on with her. Like, look at the progress
is that her progress?
from both for the rear pose and the front pose there.
That's phenomenal, mate. When you don't have to squint for a bikini girl's improvements. Like, oh, why is that? I think she's got
Insane.
one operation. No, she's really improved. Well, oh, with Big Dan as well. Awesome, fantastic.
But the balance overall is just incredible. Look at that wrist
Yeah,
shot.
no,
Wow.
that's a very good physique, isn't it? Nice, smooth, flowing posing.
So it's one of those things, isn't it? Especially for bikini, it's literally time and place as well. Like, plays a huge role in that.
Yeah, I think your lineup is obviously enormously important. Um,
So yeah, another incredible weekend for the UK. That's
fantastic.
yeah, one
Was
pro
there anyone
win,
else?
one pro card, and overalls.
Yeah, really good, really good. God, I'm excited for the Olympia now. I think I'm going to be going as well. Are you going?
I was going to go. I wanted to go for the experience and just to get around it.
Okay, that starts lining things up a little bit better and a little bit cheaper for both of us. Do you want to? We'll talk later. We'll talk after the party.
Yes,
We'll sort that Airbnb joint and save ourselves 500 quid each.
easily.
Easy, that's sorted, isn't it? And my boy Henry wants to go, and my brother Ben. So, my
It'll be
mate
your
Henry,
first one.
my mate Henry, and yeah, it'll be our first time. Is it your first time?
Yeah, first
No,
time.
you've done one before, haven't you? You've been before, have you?
I did the amateur, which was just before, but I had a
Yeah,
client competing the same weekend, so I
yeah.
come to that and instead of the Olympia. So this year will
No.
be just Olympia.
Mate,
It's going to
I'm
be good.
excited.
It'll
That'd
be
be
really good.
cool. That'd be good. God, I'm gonna have a right good squad there because Cal will be over there. I think Martin would be as well, maybe potentially. Well, yeah. Either way, it'd be a proper good weekend. That would be. I think I might have to. I think I might have to bin off my prep early then if I'm gonna prep because I want to enjoy Vegas. I don't want to be sitting there eating fucking fish and vegetables out of a Tupperware.
We're
That's
moving
cool. That's
questions.
cool. Yeah, let's do them, man. Let's do these questions.
Right, I reckon we do. I'll shoot one and then you do one, so that we're going back and
Let's
forth. Yeah.
do that. That sounds cool to me, man. Yeah, let's go for it.
Right, ready for the first one?
Yeah, let's do this. Yeah.
What's the most common mistake you see people make on prep?
I think probably starting too soft. I think so. This is something that I've done multiple times before, and I've noticed that even just starting this diet, granted it may be a prep, it may not, I'm not sure yet. But with me, what I'm doing is I noticed immediately starting in a leaner position. If you've been able to get your food somewhat up into a good enough sort of space beforehand, and then you go into the prep, obviously from that sort of like. So I'm talking like diet first, have a good break, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks, 10 weeks, 12 weeks, whatever you need really to kind of get sort of fresh and reset again and in a good space. Have a nice little deload the week before, and then start your diet from there. Is far more suitable than max the living tits out of your off season and then go prep time, because it's just. It makes it so much harder to lose. So I started this diet at 290 and relatively trim. I've dropped loads in the first week, because I normally do anyway. But like, it's already, I'm just like, okay, I get how good this is going to be.
Yeah.
Because hypothetically, if I was to do like September, I'm like 16 weeks out now, like 15 weeks out now, 15 weeks out now. So I would be like, I've got 15 weeks to lose. Whatever I need to do, it's easy. I'm 280. Like, it's easy to, so it's. I think it's one of those things where it wasn't done years ago, but as we become smarter bodybuilders, we've got it now. Like, granted, I think that big push-up off seasons are required at some stage in your career, in your bodybuilding sort of timeline. I think they are, and I think you do at one point have to get quite soft and just kind of just push, and just really take the limit of it, but don't do it all the time.
Yeah.
Right? So, what's your thoughts?
It's a solid point. 100% agree with that. I think even the response visually doing that. I think when you've got a lot to come off, you see a huge scale shift, but you don't see much visual shift. Whereas when you're leaner and you've got less to come off, it's like you'll make one change every week. And it's like boom, response straight away. I think that's a really nice mental spot to be in as well, because you're not overthinking. Do I need to speed things up? Do I need to slow things down straight away?
Yeah, because it's that responsiveness to change. That's a really brilliant point. Like, for example, so if you make more than one change in the first week, next week, like this weekend, like, so when I check in on Wednesday, probably going to end up being no changes, maybe a minimal thing, right? But it's no need. Like, if you can get away with like less, like, do less, man. You'll be fresher at the end. Like, don't go to limits and stuff, like pushing things for the sake of it. Like granted, you need a certain amount of things to to be done, right, to get into proper shape. But like, I'd rather be on 80 clen than 120, like, personally. I don't want to be like, you know what I mean? So it's things like that, isn't it? Like, just little adjustments. Yeah, that's cool. Good question, that.
I would say for me as well, I think outside noise, especially over the previous 1 to 2 years, has been a huge contributor towards self-doubt, overthinking. I think for me, like, put aside any physical changes that people can make mistakes with in a prep, because I think if you continuously prep right, you resolve these issues the longer you do it right. But I think one thing that people can really get on top of is just not letting outside noise get in their head, or comparison. I think that's a huge one.
Difficult to do, especially in this day and age of social media.
Yep.
But if your job does not rely on you being on social media, and you don't need to be on it, and you're not like a bodybuilding coach, let's say you work in an office job and whatever, and you don't need to, maybe either get an app that limits your time on it, or just uninstall it and delete it for the time being, and set it as a rule that you're not going to be doing it and going on it until after the shows are done. And now one of my clients, Dan, did that last year, and he said it was the best thing he ever did.
100% agree.
I think if you don't need to be on social media worrying about who you're up against, what these physiques look like, seeing some crazy Italian guy that dieted on white fish for 6 months and he's shredded, right? And you're like, why don't I look like that? Right? And you're comparing yourself, Terrible idea. I think the most important thing that you can do, if you do struggle with that, is just find the best possible scenario to mitigate that, because it's bigger than people think.
100%. And I think you know this as well as I do. How many people you see post stuff on Instagram that look nothing like that in person? And I think
it all changes under the lights.
You accumulate so much stress by comparison.
For example, so who's Tim's client who got third at the uni? Josh was losing his marbles, and Tim just mentioned this to me, I'm sure Josh won't mind, was losing his marbles about some crazy freak dude who he had seen and was like, this guy will win the whole show, he's insane, I've never seen anything like it. And even Tim was kind of like, whoa, my God, you've got to go against this guy. The guy didn't even get in the top 3. So they were worried about Instagram pictures for nothing. which is just shows it changes under the lights. So like the same thing as well. Like you see, some woman in the pump up area or something like that, or backstage. Oh my god, she's absolutely jacked, and all you're seeing is her just kind of get ready, and she walks in front of you. And she's got the softest glutes and softest lower back, and she's not, and you're like, oh, okay. Do you know what I mean? Like, so there's loads of things that you could like put in your own head by seeing one thing, and then in reality, it's a complete package that wins a show. It's
100%.
It's not an Instagram show. It's a bodybuilding show.
And I think that's a huge point. I've on a funny subject here. I remember I think the most impressive one for me is figure, because you see all these like small figure girls backstage, and the minute they open up in that front pose, you're like, oh fuck! Like they just expand in every shot.
Do you remember Caitlin Hill?
Yes. Yeah.
That's the example, isn't it?
Yeah.
This 5 foot nothing tiny little lady. She walks out. She goes like that. She always used to pop her hands and then pop the lats, and they used to just like shuffle forward, and it was like, oh Jesus!
Take up half the stage. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, she's crazy.
Right, what one you got?
Cool. Let's have a little look. Should we do a silly one or should we do a good one? More gear, less growth, or less gear, more growth. I'm assuming this is for larger blokes, obviously, not women. But yeah, it's a bit of a silly question, but still, nonetheless, we will answer it. I think it matters very individually. Like for me personally, I get on very well with mid-range dosages of anabolics for my size and for my weight and height and build and time in the game. But I think for me personally, higher growth hormone is always a really big game changer with me. Whereas with other people, they might not get as much out of it, and it might not really be for them. I think it just matters person to person. So there's just what about you? What's yours? What do you?
100% agree. Like this year for me has been an eye opener. It's the highest I ever pushed growth in a health phase, and I looked better in the health phase on TRT than I did full blast. Yeah, I was like, oh shit, that's opened up a huge.
Yeah, you don't need as much anabolics. You can go up to half as much as well, 3/4, half as much as what you did before, and you can just do more growth. It obviously clearly works for you, can't you? So
yeah. So for me, it's going to be growth, low anabolics. You?
Yeah, I think and my ideal sort of off-season stack now, thinking about it, if I was like going in towards just like, if I had 12, 14 weeks to just put as much muscle on as I could within that sort of space of time, it would be like between 12 and 15 units of growth per day, but it would be like maybe 1,000 milligrams total of anabolics.
How would you split that growth?
Maybe a little bit more, maybe like 1,200, 1,400, but like I'm more of like, I'm like a 50-50 kind of like ratio if it works for me, of like non-aromatizing DHT, like DHT to aromatizing. But I think things like what works for me is obviously high growth, but like things like IGF and insulin, I get on with beautifully personally. Yeah. I think the best I've ever been, and like what I would do potentially going forward after I'm done dieting, is I'd have a good little health phase for a period of time and just get very cleaned out and do at least 6, 8, 10 weeks on like actual true legit DRT. Use some stuff then, but then when I'm fresh and good to go, then I'll kind of send it and go from there, and do that. And I think how do you split up your growth? How do you do yours?
I like mine in smaller, more consistent bouts.
Oh, okay.
So AM pre-training, post-training, pre-bed.
Really?
Yeah.
So I'm, at the moment, I do 2.5 IUs before I go to the gym. And then I do the remaining 7.5 IUs before bed. Okay. And then on my non-training days, I just do all of it pre-bed.
And you get zero.
I've kind of got used to now, and I feel fine on that. I think any way of doing it works. I have done the frequent dosing things, but I think I kind of just get on better with this heavier dosing before bed, and it seems to do the same sort of effects and stuff like that. Yeah. Cool. What about you? What's next? What's the next question?
What qualities do you think make a great athlete?
I think someone who kind of, for me personally, like takes pride on following the plan to a T, and takes pride in very much just like, I just do what you tell me. Like, and that kind of being able to just surrender to the process of it is definitely something. And people who want to put their opinion in a little bit too frequently can definitely be worse clients sometimes. Yep. I can be like that, and I don't mean to be, but I think after years of coaching, it's quite hard not to. But ultimately, just kind of surrendering to the process and just kind of doing that is good. And people who are very much able to stay grounded in like why they're doing it rather than like how bad it hurts. So I'd rather someone like attack a prep rather than try and survive a prep. I
Yes.
think so.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, they've got 4 more weeks. Oh my god, I've got a refeed in 2 weeks. They've got a refeed in 5 days. Oh my god, I can't wait. Oh, just survive until the refeed. It's like when people go, mate, do I have to do this refeed? That's when you know, like, oh, okay, like you really want this, like, so and I find that those athletes will always do better. So
I'd actually agree. I agree on that point completely. I think I don't know about you, Tom. I always find, especially over time, when you get an inquiry and you can just tell that that athlete's bought in. Like
yeah,
from the minute that they inquire, you can tell that they've been watching your content. You can see that they've seen multiple clients that you've worked with. I think when inquiries come in like that, and as you say, from that first check-in, you can see the setup's right, the information that they've given you is all spot on. Like
yeah.
that level of like control over everything they do, and then coming into that process, it's just so flawless. You'll find that every week it's like progress, progress, progress.
Completely agree. Completely agree. What the hell? I've got a really funny one.
Go on.
If you had the funds for 100 IUs of growth a month, how would you split it? Well, growth, not that pricey. If you get nowhere to look, not at the moment. In this world, in this day and age, it's a lot cheaper. If I had the funds for 100 IUs of growth a month, I do have the funds for 100. I have the funds for 100 IUs of growth a week if I want. How would I split it? I don't know. 25 IUs a week, so 5 IUs 5 times a week. Yeah, done. That's it. That's a month done. Easy. Boring question. Next one.
Get a new job.
Huh?
Get a new job will be the answer to that one.
Just go on eBay. Start buying and selling. Start doing feet pics.
Right, ready?
Yeah, what have we got?
Biggest mistakes you've made as coaches, and what have you learned from them?
Bro, we've been talking about him, but Josh hasn't actually messaged me. Josh has actually just put a question in. I didn't realise he won. We were talking about him earlier.
Is it a good
I'll
one?
definitely do his next. Yeah, what did you say yours was? Sorry, mate.
Biggest mistakes you've made as coaches, and what you've learned from them.
Yeah, it's almost the same question with Josh.
Really? Yeah.
That's why I looked. That's the only reason I looked. Biggest mistakes he made.
Yep. And what you've learned from them.
I think it's not. I don't think it's one big mistake. I think it's loads of little mistakes as time goes on. I think I've not made any like chronically bad ones. I think my management of certain personality types has got better as time goes on. But also, one thing that I was very reluctant. I suppose this is the biggest one. Is I was very reluctant to do it in the early stages, and I was just like, no, I'll help. I can help anyone, and I can get them. Like ultimately, like I think I probably needed to tell, even though they were probably high level people that I was desperate to work with. I probably should have told them, this ain't working. You're just too much of in more polite words, I would have put forward that it's not going to work particularly very well between us. Maybe someone else should help you out. I think that would have been better, because ultimately it did in certain situations it did just end up with me having a fallout with them at the end of it all, because they had that sort of the mindset, but more so of like it couldn't possibly be me that's wrong. It must be Tom, right? So and I'm not going to go negative because that's not what this is about, but. I think smaller mistakes over time is where I've like built my. For newer prep coaches, anything that you've learned or found that which you think is extremely important. So for people who are new to it, I think separate yourself from the pack in some way, shape, or form. Otherwise, you will blend in to the dregs that are in the coaching circle. So I would think of it in layers of 3 layers. I would think dregs at the bottom, and almost everyone is in the dregs, and that's not me being a prick. That's me being like, you have 2 clients or 5 clients or 3 clients or 6 clients or whatever, and you are kind of, that's dregs level. That's not bad. It's just you're starting out, right? Your novices, your green, and then there's a mid band where you start getting to like 15, 18, 20, 25 people, and you're starting to be able to think, actually, do you know what? Maybe I could start doing this and building up from there. And I feel like. This is, again, not being rude. I feel like you were there at one point. I think you kind of got out of dregs quite quickly. And I think you were at like mid-band one point, and now you're in towards top bracket with and Tim did the same recently as well, and kind of did that as well. And, and people are just kind of shifting. So shifting from dregs to mid-range is a difficult process. It's a very difficult process. Shifting from mid-range to top, which you're at now, definitely, is an even harder one. Because it's a level of consistency with people that you have to develop. It's a level of managing sort of bullshit content online that you might not want to make, but you still
Yeah.
have to.
Yeah.
And it's a matter of showing up for clients, like competitive clients. And sometimes it's a matter of saying no to non-competitive clients because you just want to focus on competitors. Because if you want to build up to the point where, you know, like maybe like myself and like Callum and like Martin and, you know, whatever, are like, you know, because we may have the same like amount of clients as like sort of mid-band people, maybe, like who are creeping their way up, but there is a difference in terms of sort of like pro cards and PCA pro cards and overalls every weekend and
Yeah.
you know whatever. And it's like kind of like a shift, but you will get there. It's like the shift through just takes time. So if you're at that kind of dregs level, be consistent and build. Obviously, do it. Like go for it if you want to do it, but separate yourself from the pack. Otherwise, there's no world where you get into that top line.
Yeah.
No world.
Mega answer. I think from my perspective as well, it's quite cool you mentioned that. I think I did things backwards in that I learned as much as I could first before I had the clients. Therefore, for me, it was experience.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people come in and they want to learn more, or sorry, they want to get the experience before they've learned more. Whereas I think people need to learn more because you probably know this. Once you get busier, you have no time to learn, or you have minimal time to learn.
Yeah,
Like
you're
your
learning on the
brain-
job. You're learning on the job.
Yeah, your brain capacity to take in things when you do 25 to 30 check-ins a day is minimal. So it's like learning as much as you can, and then things will click the more clients you get.
Yeah, sometimes my brother comes out with stuff that I just was like, well, I wouldn't have known that unless you told me. And it's like your training thing or something. And I'm like, you've got time to still pick up and delve into this stuff. And I spent so much time, and I was like, from like 15 through to, I would say, 23, where I did nothing but spend my time on forums and nothing but just converse. I must have annoyed so many people, but like conversing with like pro bodybuilders and
Yeah.
American pros and anyone who would give me the time of day for just 10 minutes or 5 minutes of conversation and talking to people at shows and asking them, hey, what do you do for this? Hey, how do you? And then you establish just this big, broad knowledge of what everyone's doing and who looks the best and why they look that way. And then you pattern recognize, and then that's what develops your like critical thinking skill towards physique management in general, right? So it's like you have to just take it from everywhere, don't you? So,
Yeah.
you know, and by doing that, I don't know about you, but I've got stuff that I keep at the back. Like I use maybe like 30% of my knowledge on my clients on a day-to-day basis, and 70% of it I've not really got much need for, but I can call on it when I need it.
Yeah. I think
I'm
you'll
sure
get that
you'll probably
client
get
that
that
pops
point
up
now.
every now and again where it'll
Yeah.
be like, okay, this is
Like,
cool because you have to.
we
Yeah,
can use this.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, this is a good one.
Have you? Sorry, here's a funny one. This is a funny conversation. So I've had that same conversation, very similar conversation with one of my older clients, George. He's left for a bit. He's dealing with some personal stuff. He's a coach himself, and he's definitely climbing into that mid-band range. He's hovering there, right? And he's on his trying to make his way up. And we've had this sort of conversations before with him. And he put a client in a show, and I had put a client in a show, and they were in the same class or something like that. And I think my client won, and then later on, you know, kind of did well in the overall and stuff. I think they won it or whatever. But I jokingly said, do you remember? I don't know if this is a weird segue, but do you remember? Have you seen Kung Fu Panda?
Yeah.
So you know when Tai Lung, that leopard dude, the baddie, like beats up the Furious Five lot, like he like nails them with like that nerve thing, and he goes, "Oh, Shifu taught you well, but he didn't teach you everything." And it was like that same situation. It was like, "I've taught you very well, bro, but I haven't taught you everything yet." And then it was like I jokingly like sent this meme, and we had a bit of a laugh about it, and that's quite funny. But yeah, it's like I haven't taught you about using a beta blocker on a show day for a nervous client. I haven't taught you about Nolotil sight enhancement. I haven't taught you about using a saline drip when someone needs it with a diuretic user. You know, all this sorts of like crazy shit that I would never. I didn't do it with that client, but you know, it's like, oh, you don't know about this. It's like
It's that real niche stuff which you would not ever have to cover on a consult. It's kind of like you said, that stuff that you'll call upon in the most rare situations.
It's my nerve technique that I've never taught anyone. Anyway, what's the next one? Have you got a good one?
Do you think clients need to take some responsibility when it comes to the consequences of PEDs?
Yeah, but well, here's the thing, right? Like, you know, obviously everything that we put out and send to clients is hypothetical, of course, right? It's their decision to go about in that manner, yeah? And my defence in a court would be, in law, right? Oh, you told this client to take these steroids and they fucking had an issue. I go, were they taking steroids before they met me? and before they started working with me, yes. So why is it different that I suggested a different course of action? Because blanket steroids is steroids, right? Like, you're taking testosterone, TRT, you're at risk. Granted, you're probably not as much risk as someone taking 1,000 milligrams a year, but you're at risk. And and someone taking 1,000 could be as much risk as someone taking 2,000 milligrams, and growth hormone, and insulin, and whatever. I think where coaches need to take responsibility is when they go, hey, let's start using insulin. And the client just goes, oh, what? If they're not quite savvy enough, maybe they shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Or, hey, I want you to start jabbing different areas rather than what you used to. Let me break down how you go about this sort of process, right? And how you put it in your arm or your shoulder or your whatever, rather than the glute shots that you've just been living by. That sort of thing. So I think that's definitely the way to look at it. I think coaches need to take partial responsibility for pieces of it, but ultimately, like, your health is your health. You don't have to do this. You can literally just go, I don't want to do steroids anymore, Tom. And I go, cool. We'll just we'll take the next 4 years out, and you can go do IFBB natural stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so yeah. What's your thoughts? What do you think?
Yeah, I think ultimately, as coaches, we're in that leadership role, right? Like, we're guiding and we're recommending, we're kind of instructing. So I think we should take the majority of the responsibility. But I also believe that with the amount of information and knowledge that is out there around PEDs, that there needs to be some level of acceptance from the client as well.
Yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely.
And I fully agree with you. I don't remember, like, when before I even started taking drugs, I was almost so, bro, I would be scared to do anything. Like, even the smallest of drugs, I would be like, I'd have to research so much shit about.
Yeah. I spent years researching, years.
Yeah, and it would almost be like I was a bit of a hypochondriac in a way, where I'd like be nervous to take like 10 milligrams of Anabar when I first started. And I think people will come in now and just mindlessly, I'll take whatever. Like, there needs to be a level of...
Yeah, there's different mindsets towards it, isn't there? It's like, oh yeah, no, I'll just take, I think having a haphazard sort of nature towards your own health in general in bodybuilding probably isn't the best way to go about it. If that's what you want to do, cool. But I think that you need to be careful. I mean, anything is dangerous at any day. You can take a peanut, eat a peanut, and go into anaphylactic shock if you're allergic to peanuts. Like, you can get, was it like, I think it was like emergency room visits. It was more common that someone had a funny reaction to a multivitamin than to steroids. So, like, if you're going to like A&E, like, it was more likely that they had an allergic reaction to a compound in a multivitamin than a steroid, which is obviously tells you, right? Obviously, yeah, a lot more people are fucking taking multivitamins than they are steroids, but like, it's also, I think, if you are going to damage yourself with steroids, it was either already going to happen at any dosage, or your coach has been so haphazard with it and so nutty with it, some alarm bells really should have been ringing. Because if I send a program over to someone, obviously I don't, right? But if it's a program to a classic guy who says, I want to be a super heavyweight, and I send them over, yeah, man, let's do 2 grams of test and do 2 grams of primo, and let's do 24 IUs of growth and 100 IUs of insulin. If they read that and then go, cool, I'll do that, then they're probably not as clued up as they should be on the process itself anyway. And if they did get obviously injured, like hurt from that or whatever, or a health issue from that, yeah, that's obviously fucking stupid, right? On both parts.
Yeah.
It's 2 idiots teaching idiots, isn't it? So, one of those.
Yeah, I think as well, like, as coaches now, everyone's known. Like, we're all known for our wins, we're all known for our losses, we're all known for our mistakes, right? So there's enough out there, I think, especially in the UK, to make an educated decision on who can guide you the best. As you said, if you're predisposed to respond bad to things, that's unfortunate. But I think on a coaching basis as well, there's enough out there now these days to make an informed decision on who does well.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I think one thing that I'm probably, I don't know how I'm spoken about within the bodybuilding scene. I don't know. I don't really pay attention. I don't really care anyway. But I'm more like, I think I'm probably like respected enough in general in terms of just sort of like clients and wins and stuff like that, whatever. But I'm probably known to a degree for like, oh, if you want to like push up a class, like Tom will get you there. You probably won't like what you have to do to get there, but he will give you the path to do it, right? Like, that's kind of like where I'm.
Agreed.
A lot of people probably hear that. Like, oh, do you want to be a super heavyweight? You're a middleweight, you want to be a super heavyweight. Yeah, Tom will do it, it'll take you 3 years, and you'll be on this much food up to here. You know, fucking choking on your calories every day, but like you'll do it. Like so,
Yeah.
I think it's I think we all get heard, get different bits of and everyone sort of hears what so and so does and whatever, and I mean, fucking hell, like if you look at Martin's, Callum's, and my diet plans, and probably one of yours as well, actually, for someone with 4,000 calories, they look very fucking similar. They look very fucking similar.
Agreed.
Cool. I think this will be our last question for the time being. Obviously, I think we can wrap things up afterwards and talk about our own shenanigans. But unless you've got some more questions, but I've got a good one here. Just on a sillier segue. Cheesecake Factory 1v1 in Vegas. Who can clear the most cheesecakes? Are you a cheesecake guy?
I can eat cheesecake. Yeah.
Oh, okay, dude. I like it, but I do like it, but I reckon you probably smash me then.
We've got to go like situate. Are we talking like right now? Or are we talking in the mix of a diet?
Bro, I don't know, because I'll be like 14 weeks into a diet.
Yeah,
where will you be
in that? I will be pulling down then, so it will probably work quite well.
Okay, all right. So we can both just get really. And Retta will have been out for 3 weeks, so it'll I've got like post Retta hunger and 14 weeks of dieting hunger. No, I think you probably still beat me. Have you seen cheesecakes before?
Yeah, they're wham.
Bro, they're bricks.
Yeah,
they're like that big. They're fucking massive pieces of cheesecake.
Can you? Are you an eater? Can you eat?
Yeah, but like. Yeah, I think the most food I've ever done in a for a consistent period of time was between 1,200 and 1,400 carbs in a day. It was about 150 fats, and it was about 320-ish, 25 protein.
Fair bit of food.
Yeah, but I was doing 100 IUs of insulin a day. So.
And you could put that down relatively easy, or was it still?
Yeah, I mean, most of my meals were like, so a meal would look like this. It would look like. It would be worked out to be about 400 grams of cooked weight rice, roughly, and then it would be like a chicken breast in that, which I probably wasn't weighing at the time, and then it would be like sweet chili sauce and stuff on it, just to kind of bump the calories up there and make it go down easier, and then it would be like an entire tub of sorbet with that meal. And then what I used to do was I used to get fruit juice, like an apple juice or orange juice or something. I used to mix that in a shaker with added cyclic dextrin and just shake that up and then just put that on the side. And so I'd eat the meal, and as I got to the end of the meal, I'm like, oh shit, I can't eat anymore. I'd like drink that and like chew and drink, and then I'd do the sorbet afterwards. So, and that meal would be like, because I would split it into, so the meals were just insanely big. So it'd be like, probably like 300 grams of carbs, like 4 times in the day. Like it would be 3 meals of 300 grams of carbs, and then I would do 300 grams of carbs like around my training. So I'd do like a huge intro. Like my intro at one point was like 150 grams of carbs. So like, I can eat pretty consistently over the course of the thing, but like I think the second my appetite gets to that like stopped out stage, I really struggle.
Yeah.
So I'm like good, totally fucked.
Yeah. Good question on this one then. So did you find, I don't know how long you ran that much insulin and food for, any distension?
Yeah, like 3 months.
Any distension or any changes to your...
No, my midsection stayed the same. No, I was good. I think because I was using such simple sugars, the volume was obviously smaller.
Yes. Yeah.
So I think if you'd just done that from like added bagels and fucking more rice and more potato, like no one can eat that. Well, some people can, but I can't eat that much. And I think that would blow your gut. But because I was like being a bit more savvy about it, and I'm like, right, well, this is like, I'm like, the way how much I'm eating now, there's not really a point in a day where my blood glucose is like dropping off at all because it's fucking high all the time. So this insulin in here is just gonna fucking hold this the whole way through. Like, granted, it was massively excessive. I probably didn't need 100. I used pretty stupid, but like, if I'd just done, say, like 50 or 60, it probably would have done the same thing.
Yeah.
I think maybe. That's what I did. And then my growth was like 18. I think it was 15 IU vials, but we HPLC'd them. They turned out to be 18, which was cool. And then my gear was like 2.5, 3G. Yeah, 2.5G, 2G, around that. I can't remember. But like, I was 315. That was like the first time I'd got over 300 and consistently stayed over. Yeah.
I still remember the shots from that. I remember when you had the portal where you did the real overlay of that picture of you taking that. It was a good look. I wouldn't say, I don't know about you, it's too far from where you are now on way less. Would you agree?
I think if I had then dieted from that point, I would look probably similar to this right
Yeah,
now.
I'd agree.
Because that was three, whatever. And then, yeah, so if I'd gone back, I know which ones you're on about. The one where my face is like
Yes.
fucked up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's like all red and like puffy. Like, I think if I'd gone from that to, I'd probably very similar structurally to how I am now. Yeah, yeah.
Last one, I just want to cover this one. I've got managing assisted diets versus natural diets.
You're probably better with the natural stuff.
Okay.
I think for me, it's like a case of like slow and steady wins the race, obviously with natural dieting.
Yep.
But that being said, I think because there's no real tools to manipulate, it's like I feel like it is just a case of just slow and steady is just the only way to do it.
Yep.
And that as a coach can be a little bit mundane. Because in enhanced, it's like, oh, let's add this, drop this, change this, tweak this. You know, we can play with this peptide here and see how this. You know, I feel like you have more enjoyable tools to kind of like twiddle around with. But I feel like when a natural bodybuilder does it well and starts relatively trim, and does a 24-week prep, the conditioning is better than most enhanced guys, I think, because there's no interference with hormones. Like, granted, they may weigh 175 pound, but they're gonna look cool.
Yeah.
They're gonna look sharp. Yeah.
You know what I think you get? I don't know if you can understand this concept. You know, when you have an assisted person and they come in for their first show, and then by the third show, not much has changed body weight wise, but the look is so much more crisp. I find that the ups and downs that you get through doing a 20-week natural prep is very similar to the ups and downs you get from doing a 13 or 14-week assisted prep in the look improving and refining the
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah. It's the tweaks and adjusts. Yeah. Well, my client Dan, the guy who got the PCA Pro card, so he has been the same body weight for the last, I don't know how long. We got there before the Sacks, and he's just been the same, and he's just got better and better and better. And it's because every time he gets too far down, like 188 is the lowest I'll like kind of let him go, and then it's like, right, eat, and then we fill back up on the food, and that's just the job. So
happy days.
Awesome,
So, cool. I think should we call it a day on questions?
yeah, I think we'll do that. Yeah. How are you getting on with your own stuff at the moment? What are you doing at the moment?
Really well. So I'm 8 weeks in to blasting.
Oh, nice.
Heaviest I've ever been, which is nice.
Which
And
way?
for me, 271.
Oh, nice, cool.
And for me, it's feel like, as you said earlier, you know, you get to that point where it's like go, 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 and then you crash. I feel like I've got so much runway. Like, energy's good, workflow's good, food's going in well. So I'm like, the longevity for this push is looking promising, which is what I need.
Perfect, man. That's perfect.
What I need.
Dude. Perfect. Yeah, that's good. I've just started a diet, so I'm a week in. So I dropped 12 pounds in the first week.
That's common for you, isn't it? You always get big losses.
It just comes off so quick.
Yeah.
It just comes off quick all the way until like right at the bitter end, and then it kind of doesn't really do much. And I think what I need to establish in my own head is that once I get to a certain body weight, I need to remember that it's like feed up, dig back, feed up, dig back, feed up, and not just go. I can go harder, you know, or do anything like that. It will just be a case of just listen to Cal, and just see what he says, and just follow it. Yeah.
Out of interest, how do you manage your training, and how's your training adapting?
Oh, this week's has to be a little bit different, bro. My shoulders are fucking playing silly buggers on me at the moment. Like, just shoulder, like my left pec, I keep getting a little twing here. It's doing my nutting, and I think it's because I put a shot in my bicep. Put a shot in here. I think I don't know if the pressure here is then affecting like here, like when I'm doing like pulling and stuff like that. Like, I don't know if something's happened. It felt a bit weird, like a flying movement, or like it just felt odd today. So I just had to just kind of I just took the weight down to like nothing and just pumped the shit out of it just to move some blood around there really. But yeah, so normally it's 5 days a week. My split's like a deltoid arm day, a leg day, an upper day, a posterior chain day, and then another upper day. And the upper days kind of vary depending on like the day. But that's what I was supposed to do this week. But this week is going to be more like upper legs. See how I feel on the Wednesday. If I'm not training that day, I'm not training that day. Then posterior chain day, and then I'll do like another upper day. And if I can go back in at the end of the week and do some deltoid arm, maybe I will. But I just have to play around injuries at the moment. I just have to be careful.
Yeah.
Like, I'm 32
approach
since I was 15, so it's like 17 years of it. So my joints are going to get beat up. Like,
What about approach wise? Like, are you log booking? Are you like back offset? Like, what's your
yeah. So it's, a lot of it's straight sets for like my back work, And I'm just leaving like one in the tank on the last two sets of that. So it'll be like three sets. And the first one's fair. The next two are like one in the tank. I feel okay. I am a little bit concerned that 5 days a week of total like just training in general might be a bit too much for me personally. I might just be a 4 times a week kind of guy. I think towards the end I'll talk to Callum about it, but I'm probably going to be, obviously volume will just back down massively towards like one set sort of thing, like one working set per exercise, maybe a back off here and there, but we'll see. We'll have to see. I don't know. I'm just going to just follow what he tells me to do.
Yeah,
Obviously, we're training like this week. I have to just kind of ad hoc it a little bit, but like food wise, it's like 3.5, and then 3.3 or something on my other day or something like that. On my non-training day, my gear's like 800 test, and then 1,000 of DHTs. Growth is 10. T4 is 150. Using some SLU, using some MOTC, using a bit of Retta. That's it. Yeah, I feel good. Yeah,
I really
I
like
like those
Slow.
peps. They work for me.
Yeah, did you? I really enjoyed Slow. The first time I took that, I
S-
was like, I really noticed a difference using that.
SLU and MOTC combo with Retta, I think, is the reason why I have managed to. I got into good shape very, very, very fucking quickly first time, like good enough like shape. Then the reverse out was nicely controlled, and then this diet now, I think it will be a bit of a game changer for my physique in general. I think I won't, and I've got that amino Q stuff as well, that 5 amino thing. I haven't read into it yet. I've got 2 bottles of it, but I'm going to try a little bit of that at the end of the prep, like the last like 4 weeks. I think I think it can help with stubborn fat, from someone who was explaining to me.
I tried it towards the back end of a diet. I didn't notice too much. As I say, the biggest thing that I noticed was the Slow. I put that in, and it was
How
like,
lean
wow.
were you? Do you think you need to be like really lean to use
Agreed.
it?
That in retrospect, next
I don't
time
know.
round, I will be leaner. Yeah.
Okay, I'm not sure, but yeah, no, it's good. Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I just want to do. I'm gonna just see what 260 looks like, and then kind of that's the number where I make a decision whether I just keep going. Because if I see myself at 260 and I'm like, oh, like I just need to drop like, 10 more pounds, like that's very doable. And then I can go for it. But if I look at myself at 260 and I'm like, oh, you're still soft, like you're not really, because if I compete under 240, I'm just going to look absolutely small for my height and my
Yeah.
build, and my shape doesn't do me any favors anyway. So I'm not gonna. So if I get to there, I'll make the call, but then there's always the chance to pull it later, because if I get to 250, I'm still not fully anywhere near in shape. It's like, where is the number where I actually start, looking like it's going to come together at some point. So
On a serious note, what would allow you to walk away from this and be like, I'm happy with that? Like in terms of a stage
oh,
look or
like
placings, what would it be for you?
yeah, I well, there's the PCA Midlands, which I'd love to just win the novice class there. That would be kind of cool. There's PCA Midlands, PCA Central. There's also some Two Bros shows beforehand. So I don't know, but the only issue is I don't want to do a novice class at Two Bros, because it would just be fucking me on my own. So I would have to do supers, which means that I can't then go back and start doing novices at PCA, which means I have to do class 1. We'll see. We'll just go along with the process, and wherever we get to is wherever we get to.
Yeah.
And I'll make a call like at some point. I'm not precious about it. That's the thing. Like I'm not like, oh, I'm really looking forward to competing. Like I really would like to. It'd be fun, but I'm not gonna like fucking put the whole world aside for me to do it. And especially with Sarah going to the O now as well, and potentially my other client Shelley, who's competing in a few weeks. Like obviously, if she gets the Olympia invite, then I think at that point I have to go. This is more important than me. Like and then I would just bin it. Because me going to because I can compete whenever. She can go to the Olympia that year. She's going to the Olympia. Like if I don't want to be out there and be like, "Hi, Shell, how you getting on? Oh, you had some food, have you?" Like yeah, you asked me 10 minutes ago, Tom. Oh, okay. I don't want to be like a fucking zombie.
She looked mega last year. Like credit to you and her. That look was fucking crazy. I remember seeing that on the live stream, and I was like, wow, that's
yeah. When she walked out, I was like, first call out. Got to be
yeah,
first call
yeah. Wicked.
out. We will see. So what's next for you? What about competing for you? Are you thinking next year?
One more. I want to do one next year, and that's me done.
Yeah.
So yeah, just full send one more season. I want to do a few more shows, see where we land, and yeah, go from there.
wrap
That's
it
going to
up.
be the goal.
Yeah, yeah. Do you know what, man? I've had a weird thought today, and I had one the other day. I was like, I'm going to be 35 so I'm 32. So like 3 years time, so I'll be 35. When I can start competing in masters, and I'm like, there's the Milan show back end of next. No, it wouldn't be next year. It wouldn't be. It would be like in 3 years time, and I'm like, like 2029, and I'm like, I'm already sort of like, what if I did keep going and I could be an IFBB pro? And then I'm like, nah, that ain't happening, Tom. Shut up. Fucking idiot. So,
Really good one. I think that them shows you got to give them their credit. Although they run late, they are good shows. I always enjoy that Milan Euromaster show.
I've never been, so I'll have to go have a look.
Yeah, they're good shows.
Awesome. Right. Well, we can wrap that up whenever, bro. I think that's a good little
Yeah,
episode.
I've got one funny thing I want to share with you though, which I think will be quite.
Go on.
So I don't know if I've ever told you this or you'll even remember it, right? But I remember, I'm sure it was Body Power. Must have been the last year they did it, right? Yeah. And we met for the first time at that show. And
I don't actually remember. Sorry.
That's all right. And I remember my brother asking you if you're going to compete again, and you was like, "I'm going to do it one more time and get absolutely skinned." So I feel like it's cool being on this call right now. You saying that you're gonna go through with it one time.
Yeah, I think I would like to. I'd love to be able to come in shape, like properly.
Yeah.
Because the 2017 I was there. I just had no muscle. The last one I wasn't very happy with, but I really wasn't in a good place mentally for that one. So 19 was the last time I stepped on stage. I didn't look great. If I can, I'd like obviously beat that look. Fucking hell, if I look the same, I'd be pissed off. But yeah, no, bring the best I can and go from there.
See where you land.
See how we go.
Awesome stuff.
No worries, bro.
Should we wrap that up there then?
Yeah, man. Any shows? Have we got any shows this weekend? Is anything coming up? We've got 2 bros this weekend, haven't we?
Yes.
Wales
this weekend, right? Yeah.
This weekend. Yep. So we're going to be following that up on the Monday, most likely next week, and we will cover everything there. So please tune in, guys, if you haven't already. Plan that out and put it in your calendar and set an alarm and all of that. But yeah, no, we will definitely be covering that.
Wicked stuff. So yeah, just under an hour. Thanks for watching, guys, and catch you on the next one.
Awesome. Cool.
I don't know if that stopped yet. Hold on.